here with you. I just want to say to somebody today that, listen, all that's happening around us, we want to stay positive. We want to stay in tune with what the Spirit of God is saying. And you don't want to stop life, though. You want to be able to, continue what you're doing, but with caution, and obviously be responsible, okay? So I have with me today, we have Tiffany Ford with me. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. She is not new to the show. If you want to see her, you go to Sexual Purity Matters. She was in that series, and so you can go catch up with her. Okay. She has also been part of my Take It by Force prayer movement, so you can go catch up on a prayer video with her. It was amazing. So God bless you. Let's jump into today's video. I hope that you're being safe. I hope that you're spending time with your families. I hope that you're spending time with your spouse. I hope you're developing new attitude. I hope you're developing getting new ideas. I hope you're taking care of yourselves. We here in Barbados, we're filming. I'm not in my studio, as you can tell. This is a makeshift studio in our home. This is a makeshift studio in our home. And so you see how far she is from me. We're practicing the distancing. That's it. We're trying. We're trying. Okay, guys. So we washed our hands before we started. We're really taking care. So if you have any thoughts or questions about that, we are practicing social distancing. That's right. And we're taking every measure to follow what our leader have said. Okay. So let's jump into today. Today's topic is going to be on. Let me get it clearly here for you. How to find acceptance in yourself. And really and truly, it really has to do with body positivity and accepting self, accepting how God has designed you. Because for myself, we will get more into it as we have this conversation, but I find that a lot of people are not very accepting of themselves because I think they don't understand how they're designed. And I find a lot of people, it doesn't matter of the age, we find that this is an issue and is a problem. And so everybody's view is going to be different on this, obviously. So we're not saying that our views are correct, but we're sharing from our own perspective, which is important. So I want to talk to you today about finding acceptance in yourself. If you can tell me how difficult or not so difficult has it been for you in finding acceptance in, first I want to start with accepting who you are, who God created you to be, before we get to the exterior of like body and so forth.
Okay, well, it was very hard being in an environment and not being socialized so much for accepting who you are. Most of the time you're around people. I've had friends who more than likely were considered so amazing and who knew who they were and who they thought they were, and being told that you don't belong in that group, you don't belong where you currently are, you don't belong in what you think is in your head, because sometimes we have in our minds where we think we belong or who we think we are, but then there are other people who tell you, well, you're a little bit too over the top with yourself, or you don't look
I
like
think
what
you
you
have
think.
over the top conversations, do you?
No.
That I've always known you to be so much more reserved and stuff like that, but I do understand what you're saying.
I guess it's because of the people that I was hanging around with.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like, do I really know who I am? Am I with the right people? Am I with, I know it's different from in my home than to at school or in the workplace, so I need to find who I am within. So it was really hard because, as I was saying, the environments were so mixed and I got caught up with.
I completely agree with you because I believe that it starts from your home.
Yes.
Maybe not so much telling you who you are in terms of your gifts, because obviously if your parents doesn't know who they are, they're not going to be able to tell you who you are. And some of them may not totally understand the idea or the concept of having gifts. That we have gifts, because we go to the schools and we coach the children on identity, and some of them, it was amazing to us how many of them hands went up that they did not know that they had gifts. So we are fortunate to be under our leadership to know about gifts and to be talking today even about gifts and accepting these gifts. So if you can tell us a little bit about, in a very, very brief nutshell, about who you are,
Okay.
how you've discovered yourself in terms of your gifts.
Right. So after going through all those different phases, I've come to DVA, Divine Visitation Assemblies, and here we are given a lot of wisdom, and I found out well that I am creative. Is something that I knew, but I didn't actually recognize that it was a gift that God actually placed on the inside of me to
Yes.
develop. So I am creative, I do art, I can do many different creative stuff, including hair. I do my own makeup. I also do prophetess makeup sometimes, and I also am creative in web design, graphic design, any type of computer designing, and I also am an artist and a musician. So that is something that came on later, the whole musician, playing of the keyboard. It has been lovely developing this gift and actually knowing that it was within me. And I'm also a minister, which includes having a gift of a watchman and also a preacher. That is something that I never could have imagined was within me also. So I thank God for revealing those gifts to me.
Awesome. I think it's beautiful. The process of finding self is beautiful. The thing that you would have to do, and I encourage people to do, is to be patient in that process.
Oh, yes.
If we're not patient in that process, we can become so many people in that process. I mean, I can speak for myself in growing up. You see your friends, as you said, thinking that they know who they were. You try to be like them.
Yes.
You see your siblings being, you try to be like them, and then you learn later in life they actually don't even know who they are, because when we take back, or when we look at folks now that we grew up around, they are not doing, they're not living that life or doing what we consider the gifts, according to their gifts.
Yes.
I say that to say, okay, we have people, I grew up with my siblings who I obviously admire and are admired, I guess admire still. And I would look at them and thought, oh my gosh, they're so amazing. But I was more looking at things on the exterior, not necessarily what they were doing in terms of their gifts. Like I would look at how they dress, their beauty, and I admire that, because in my home, I did not have many people around me saying, oh, you're good looking or you look nice. I was actually considered a dark one, so I mean, and I mean, we all know that the melanin is popping, guys. So the dark one now is in her gifts and in God and doing all these things. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that as from a negative standpoint. I'm saying that from a place where they did not understand that, and we did not have that. Our mom was focused. She loves us, obviously, but her focus was on providing for us. I'm sure many of you can understand where I'm coming from. Her main concerns were to provide for us, to clothe us, shelter, those necessary things. We need those things. So if you're a person out there and you're thinking, well, that's all I'm getting, it's not to say that your parents obviously don't love you or care about you. My mother loves us, loves us. But given that she got pregnant so young, her main concern, her main focus was to take care of her children, making sure that we have everything that we need, so I love her for that. So thank you, Mom, you did a great job.
Thank you, Mom.
Exactly, you did a great job. I'm grateful for that, because God had it in his plans that, like you said, I would meet my husband who would be able to lead me down a path to discover who I am. So I'm grateful for that. So you did your part. God had it in his plan that someone else would take me on the other part of the journey. So I love you. So let's a bit now about, so that's accepting of your gifts. Let's talk a bit now about accepting of our bodies. How accepting are you of your body?
Okay, well, I am still in that process. I am trying to be patient, really and truly. But I guess it is, most of the time you look at the outside to define what is on the inside. But I've come to realize that when you figure out what's on the inside, the outside then kind of starts to make sense, and then you try to work. If the outside doesn't align with what is on the inside, then you try to make decisions then, and try to make decisions based on what is on the inside. So if I'm supposed to be a preacher, or if I'm supposed to be working for God, or if I'm supposed to be a business person, and my body is not allowing me to do that in terms of being fit or in terms of looking the way I'm supposed to look, having that look. Because
Yes.
as Bishop, and you also talk about your styles, I then need to work on that and feel confident and accept who I am on the inside and on the outside. So
I agree.
I'm still working on loving the outside.
Loving the design.
Loving
The design, as they call it. I agree with you 100%. When you are thinking about, if you are preaching, for example, if it's not preaching and you're doing anything that is public, where people have to see you and it's about appearance as well, you are going to naturally not be as confident in what you do, because you're going to be thinking, is somebody looking at me? How do they see me? How do they perceive me? Am I doing it well? So you will never be able to, and we are saying preaching here, but as I said, it can be anything that you are called to do, whether it be business. You're not going to be at your best unless you are some person who's sitting behind a camera doing editing. You're not going to think about your body. That's why I said more external stuff. Obviously this can fit to any category of giftings. You're not going to be as confident, and I say that because one of the things that I had to come into alignment with was loving my body, loving what God has given me. And I've learned that what body God has given me, the structure He has given me, the shoulders He has given me, to the waist, to the hips, to everything, is what He has given me. Now, how much fat I put on it is then up to me. So if I decide now that I'm going to, and I'm not saying fat as in to say unhealthy, I'm saying if I, because for myself, I know that the Lord doesn't want me to be too big or too small, just a right proportion size that fits my height and all of that, because He knows me and I'm going to be uncomfortable in that. I'm going to then start thinking about it, so He doesn't want our focus to come and be so focused on our bodies. He wants us to love it and embrace and know that it's part of our design in the sense of giftings and everything. Like, for example, I remember when I did not love my body. And I'll be preaching or doing stuff externally, like filming even. Well, when I started this filming, I had already embraced my body. But for example, I would say to my husband, how does this outfit look? Or I would ask a friend before I knew my husband. And I would always be so conscious of my image because I'm curvy. And I cannot get away from being curvy. What I can do now that I'm in God and I'm embraced and know that He doesn't want me to show everything, I know I'm learning to dress to accommodate my curves. I cannot, that's what He gave me, and I have to work with it. I heard one lady said online once, if you have not seen her show, I encourage you to watch it, All Things Adrian. She said that she have hips and she have learned to embrace her hips. And I thought, my gosh, for all these years I never embraced mine. And when she said it, it's just that something clicked in me, and I was like, you know what? She's a shorty, I'm a shorty. She have hips, I have hips. Why am I not embracing my hips? And I'm sharing all of this because there are people who dress, and you just have to find a way. It's why we're gonna do makeovers, because you just have to find a way to actually dress accordingly. Not every style suits you. Not every style suits me. And I have to understand that.
I have to too.
Exactly. There are things I put on and I'm like, this is not going to work. Some things make me look square because I have a tiny waist, and some things make me look too big. So you have to just work it,
And that is because of that is where we become uncomfortable and where we don't let ourselves, because we haven't found what suits us. And I could testify to that because sometimes because of my shape, I wear something that might suit a curvy person or something that might suit a slimmer, a certain body type, and because I am not comfortable, or because I don't like it, or because it doesn't look good on me, then I begin to think that something is wrong with me. And that's not the case.
Not the case, exactly. Even to do with our personalities, that's how God designed us. You got to remember, every intricate part of us is how God designed us according to the gifts that He has given to us. How accepting or not has it been for you in terms of accepting your personality?
Well, I have been kind of understanding it now, but before, I wish I was more, out there, outgoing, a person who kind of speaks louder because they speak so softly,
Your voice is perfect.
Yes, but I did
But you
not
wished
know
it. I
that.
know,
And then
I
when
understand.
people tell you, oh, why you are this way, or why you are such and such a way, or why you speak like that, or why you come off this way, it's sometimes as you had enlightened me about auras too. There are different auras, and I just have to understand, well,
Yes.
if God gave you this personality, it's for your destiny, it's for
Purpose.
your gift, it's for
Yeah.
your purpose, and
I agree completely.
still trying to understand.
We also try to understand.
Yeah.
I always say to my husband, I want to be in the school of learning forever.
Yeah.
Learning is beautiful. Titles doesn't make us who we are. We have to learn, we have to grow, we have to develop, we have to edify ourselves. We have to sometimes drop some things, and I'm not talking
Yeah.
about body weight. We have to be able to get rid of some baggage and get our souls cleansed and clean up, so that God can really do more in us and through
Yes.
us. So that's really important. I gotta say, in terms of personality, I think my personality, even more than my my design, was the hardest for me and the most complicated for me to accept was my personality, because I never understood why I have the personality that I have. I'm an extrovert, obviously. I do not have a tiny voice, obviously. I do not need to have my camera now fitted with a mic, obviously. I do it for persons that voices are not as big as me. And as Bishop always say, I have a trumpet in my throat, but it's for a reason. I'm a spiritual, one of the gifts I have is I'm a spiritual warfare prophetess. And so God needs a trumpet in my throat. He needs me to be able to go out there and cause some damage. He doesn't need a little tiny voice behind there saying, me, 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 me. No, he needs me to open that mouth and be able to make those declarations and bring those mountains down in the name of Jesus. So it's for a reason. So I'm saying voices, that's just my voice. But in terms of the personality, I can be, as I said, I'm an extrovert. I can be up, but then the moments I have where I just like to be so quiet and just have my total downtime, no interference at all. Like, just leave me alone. I'm married, and so when you're married, your husband then have to understand that so he can dwell with you accordingly. In the beginning, my husband did not grasp that about me. He probably thought it was me just looking to escape him, but he then later learned, I told him obviously that no, I just love quiet time. I can be so much in you, like, let's go out, let's have fun, let's have a social, let's do this. I can be at church, I can be dancing, I can be singing, but I can come home and go the total opposite immediately. So it's about understanding yourself. And that's part of my personality. I love people. I'm a woman's woman. I love to get into makeup and hair and beauty. And I had a teacher who thought I was going to be a beautician. She did not realize that trapped in this woman. I used to laugh at this, that she thought I was going to be a beautician because I was always into hair, skin, makeup. I'm always about having beautiful skin. I'm always about having healthy skin. So all of these things is about how our personalities, how we are, how we make up. Don't let anybody tell you who you are not. Sometimes go to yourself, and I'm an introvert. I'm very introspective. And I go within myself many days, even now, and I think and I ponder a lot about why do I do this? Why do I say this? Why do I smile like this? What makes me laugh? What makes me angry? Why does when this person said this? I'm teaching somebody something. Why does this happen to me? Why does this trigger this feeling in me? You have to be able to go within. If you can understand that, and because the Holy Spirit dwells on the inside of us, ask Him. Ask Him what I don't understand about myself. Like, for example, if I have people around me who do not understand certain things about my personality, I will say, Holy Spirit, what is it I'm doing wrong or not wrong, or can I do better? Because maybe it is a lack of understanding of each other's personality. Now, I understand your personality totally. So there's nothing you can do to upset me. In the sense of saying your personality will not upset me, I would not be upset, I would just be, that's Tiffany. That's Tiff. And I've always said to my husband, the most beautiful thing I can hear somebody say to me is, oh, that's just prophetess. That's just her prophet. That's just her personality. I can be like, yes, this is so nice. Look at those lashes, and then I can go, okay, we at church. Let's get into church. Let's do this. People need to understand that I can be out there with you, but I take what God has given to me, not even 100%, like 1,000% serious. Very serious. So I know how to switch those modes. So if I'm switching modes on you, it's not because I don't love you, don't want to be with you. It's because I know when, where, how. I've learned that from a young person. Okay, young child, because I'm still a young person. Come on now. So let's look now at we talked a bit about body. Let's look at face.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I know, right? Oh wow, I like that response. Oh wow, because let's face it, a lot of us think that we are accepting of our features, but how accepting are we? Can you talk a bit about that as it pertains to yourself?
Okay, I accept my face, but in light of the fact that I have certain health problems, a lot of pimples, a lot of marks come up on my face. And before I was much smaller, I was considered as very hard. My face.
Hard, I like that. That's a Bajan word.
Yes.
Guys. Means very bony, very slim.
I was called hard. So my face, I
haven't heard
like,
that word in a long time. Hard. Toughy.
Yes. It's when you told me this topic, that's the first thing that came to me.
Wow.
Yes. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do it myself, but I was still kind of pretty. In a fact, people were still.
As we can tell, she is pretty. Kind of. I get it. I'm just toying with you guys.
I was still considered that. So I came to a point in which I put on a little weight, and the features, I guess, kind of popped some more, and my face kind of filled out. So I was very happy with that. And it was a serious thing, because now I have this thing where I do not want to get back that way.
Wow.
So that my face doesn't, come into that dryness and hardness. So it's kind of still an insecurity. So I
know what you mean.
Yeah. Yes. So I'm accepting that. I know, Tiffany, you are pretty.
Yes. And claim it. Claim it. God made us all beautiful in our own way. So we made in His likeness and image. There's nothing ugly. And when I look at people, sometimes people say to me, how can you say that person is good looking? I'm like, did you see those person's eyes? Or did you see the cheeks? I always look for something that stands out. You guys know this about me. Am I lying?
No.
You guys will sometimes, well, not you so much, but people will sometimes wonder, like, how can you say this person is so good looking? Even my family would say that. What about this person you think so good looking? And I'm like, did you not see that person's head? Or I would look at the forehead. Some people have such beautiful shaped heads, or the eyes might be so nice, the eyebrow might be so nice. You look at something because
that's one thing I look at my stuff, my eyebrows.
Yes. But you see what I mean? Well, I tweeted all of mine from when I was very young, but I like it so because I can draw it and make it however I can make it longer, short. But the point I'm making is that God made us all beautiful, and I definitely agree with you. In my family, we had this thing, my family as in my mom and my siblings and so on, they had this thing where they used to give us each other numbers, like you're a 10, I used to get a 3, they used to give me a 3. And I know some of them will be listening to this video because I'm going to make sure I forward it to you guys. I love my family to know that. We tease each other all the time. And they used to say you are a 3. Sometimes they used to say I'm a -3. They used to tease me hard. Do you understand how insecure that can make a person? Do you understand how insecure I became?
Yes.
Do you understand how it took me a long time to embrace this? Look at it, guys. This nugget here, this big forehead that God gave me. Do you understand how long it took me to embrace this gap in my teeth? Do you understand how long it took me to embrace my full eyes? Do you understand how long it took me to embrace my total face?
Yeah.
Because
we know that you do embrace them.
I embrace them. You know this woman embraced them, but it took me a long time. So a person who not knowing your struggles with what God has given you, understanding your body, loving it, understanding your features, loving it, understanding your complexion, loving it. I think the only thing I never had a problem with growing up was my complexion. I've always loved. So you see, you always look for something, right? I've always loved my complexion. I've always had, I guess, maybe good compliments about my complexion. So I guess you look for the things that you get the compliments about. Yes. But it's so amazing that even though someone would say to you, "Oh, your eyes are so beautiful," and you're like, "Okay," because you've heard so many. The negatives are more. That's it. The negatives are so much more than the positives. So you're always going to look. Oh, this person said this is negative, but I've learned that we've learned this from Bishop as well. But I've learned over the years that you're going to see 15,000 positive, and one person with their negative self, negative attitude, lack of accepting of themselves. They're going to come and point and say, you look so ugly, I don't like that outfit, I don't like that earrings, I don't like this, I don't like that. You're going to forget the 15,000 and you're going to look at that one negative. I've learned that that person when they come there, just give God praise and glory for the persons that's positive, and within yourself say, ooh, some people will focus on that one negative. Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. It's actually not good for yourself. It's not good for your soul. It's not good for your spirit. It's not good for your makeup. It's not good. You're going to move, and everything you do is going to be about that one or two or five negative comments. I've learned to just dismiss a lot of things. A lot of things get just, what is it? Brushed off on my shoulder.
I got told a lot about my nose. It's only now that I don't even study my nose.
If you didn't have this nose, let me tell you, I don't know. A lot of people now, let's get deeper into it. A lot of people now are going into things like body modification. And obviously we don't find a lot of that here. I don't know if it's a Caribbean thing or not, but we don't find a lot of that here. But that's what, I mean, this is how, and I believe this has to do with the media, the standard of beauty. I believe more than anything, the media is just pushing this on people and making people not look at themselves and the standard of the beauty that they have as beautiful. What are your thoughts on stuff like that in terms of body modification?
Oh, well, as you said, it's not really a big thing here. You don't really see it a lot here. So when I look at social media and I see all of these women, you know, they have these big humongous butts and these breasts, and they even modify their faces. And it's like every time you look in the comments under their feed, is like, oh, this person is not real. And I'm like, really? So it's like you're struggling to find people now who are actually natural. And what I find now within the Caribbean is that I don't know if it's the fact that we don't have it here, or just because we don't need it, but I don't really think that anybody, until they understand themselves, that they will need those modifications, you know, and they're so harmful in the long run that I too actually thought of having at least say injections in my butt or something, because I was
like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like because of how bony I was, or how small I was, you know. So it was a thing where, oh my gosh, there's so much people on the internet who are I've been so curvy and so, and then you come to realize they're not even real.
That's it. You see, all of these things made me really look at myself and say, look, you are naturally curvy. God has blessed you with a little bit of this, a little bit of that, everything. So the thing that, as you said, the thing that I think for me, I did not understand I would say the makeup of my features. And so I had a friend who actually, she was not my personal friend, but a friend of a friend. And she spoke about having her nose done. And I thought, oh, that's not a bad idea. But obviously you can see that this is, as my friend Alicia from church was in my little, what she calls, I don't remember, but a cute little name she gave my nose. As you can tell, it's still here how God gave it to me, because I grew into it. I did not like my nose at all. And I grew into it. I remember being a young girl and I would take a clothes peg and clip it on my nose to see how it would look straight. But who's to say that that is what would make me beautiful? That actually could make my face look disfigured. So you see what I mean? So I think it's so interesting that we teach our young girls, teach our young boys, because boys are into body modification as well. Look at that guy on YouTube called the Ken doll and all kinds of stuff. So we want to teach our children, teach them, guys. If you're a mother, if you're a parent, teach them to embrace and accept the external and the internal design. It's really important. I've read online how some women will travel abroad to get work done and end up dead. We want to be able, or I've seen this lady on a show where she had injections here, injections here, she have no legs now. You know, so these things can be very dangerous. Now, we're not here crying down or speaking negative about who did what. That's up to you. Every person is responsible for self. So we're not saying that if that's what you think that you need to do, that's on you. Okay, but we're just saying that we're thankful that it's not something that is so major here in the Caribbean. And I believe that our men here in the Caribbean especially like to see the natural women.
I had to come to that place where I accept my natural stuff, because it's like, Tiffany, what would happen if you had to do something with your butt and it actually made you look worse?
That's it.
And you do something with your nose. what made me accept my nose was the fact that my family, my father's side of my family has the same nose.
Yeah,
So what they would say is like, you know what defines my father said they were antrobuses, that's our last name. So what defines the antrobus is their nose. So what I like about that is that I have something that defines me, even if I didn't like it before. I came to the realization that this is what defines me.
Yes,
so that is how I accepted that.
I agree. Thank you so much. I think that what you've shared has been so helpful, and I hope that you will be blessed by it. If you have kids out there, you know, teach them, share the video with them. We know a lot of people talking about this, but we're sharing from our perspective, and I love that you were authentic in sharing that you considered the fillers for your there. You know, I love that. I love when people are able to say these things, because it's just a thought. Like I thought about this, and I mean, it's just a thought because of what we see online and the media and our parents and our home, our siblings. So as a sibling out there, please stop insulting each other. You know, and be more positive. Embrace each other. Compliment each other. I think complimenting each other is a big thing. You know, you don't always have to be in someone's face to tell them things, but take the positive thing at least. You know, so God bless you guys. We hope this video has been helpful to you. We are right here in Barbados filming on the Nina Ear Show, not the Nina Ear Studio, but the Nina Ear Show. So God bless you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. So see you guys. We love you. And on this show, excellence is a choice, and in all you do,
Aim for excellence.
aim for
Excellence.
aim for
Excellence. Excellence.
yes.